stepping up as Prakash's virtual image. It looks similar.
Yeah, very similar. So, I kind of took his presentation and I randalized it, so you'll kind of maybe see my flavor in it. At least I had time to work with it a little bit. So to be or not to be, that is the question. So before we start out, what is a NOC? We did this in Milton Keynes in the UK a couple weeks ago, and people came up to him and asked him afterwards, like, what's a NOC? And he goes, I should have explained that at the beginning, so we're going to take the time to explain it right now. The best way that I can think of explaining a NOC is ground control. When I think ground control, my mind goes to this guy, David Bowie, right? And we're kind of right, but we're talking more about this kind of ground control, NASA. Now, if you have NASA and they've got your back, you're probably in good hands. That's more or less the model of a NOC. If you're this guy and you're in trouble, how do you feel? Kind of alone, right? But now, if in your headphones, all of a sudden you hear, Major Tom, it's ground control. You have a problem, someone's on the way, we got your back, and everything's going to be fine. How do you feel? It's a great sense of relief. That's pretty much what a NOC is. It's a lot more than that, and we're going to find out throughout the presentation. So first of all, who the heck is Prakash? I was very fortunate because I got to meet him in London. Awesome guy, and really, he's a white label NOC service for VARs and MSP, for all of you. And he's a CEO, and this was founded in 2009. But he's been around for a lot longer than that. If you think of an RMM tool that you're probably using in your company today, chances are he was the one that built it. So he knows this industry. He knows the tools we use because he built them. We're going to play a little message that he sent me this morning. Oh, I forgot to have the audio. Going a little ahead there.
Hello all, my name is Professor Lee. I'm the CEO of Other Student Services. I'm sorry I could not be present at the ChannelNext event in Montreal this time due to delay my Canada visa. I'm sure you all will have a great event and take back knowledge and partnerships needed in the managed services world. We provide NOC services to MSPs and VARs in a white label model, about which you're going to learn more from our good friend Brandon VAR later today. I will be available to answer any questions you may have via email. I look forward to see you at the next ChannelNext event in May. Thank you, merci, bonjour. Take care.
French is getting better. Now, when I was in London, I nicknamed him the NOC Father because of his experience in NOCs. Because he offers you a service offering you can't refuse. So, a little bit about Prakash. It all started here for him in Mumbai, India. He lived in these places, the UK, Pittsburgh, and San Jose. So he's traveled the world, and he's a very, very cool guy to hang out with. This is MSP1 NOC in Mumbai, India. Now, the question we want to ask when it comes to a NOC is, should I build a NOC or outsource? That is really the question we want to examine. So let's take one side first. Let's build a NOC. So what are the benefits of having an in-house NOC? Well, you have control and ownership, right? It's your NOC, it's your operational center, and you get to control it. You get to customize the processes and the services. You offer exactly what you want to offer. It's a big show, right? You can bring your clients in, look at this big server room, this is all mine. And it kind of makes it very important. Language and culture. You get to really control the culture of your NOC, the language, and we know that in Quebec, it's a big issue with language and being able to control that. And you have the big league image. It makes you look like you're part of the big leagues because you have this amazing NOC. So how do you do it? Well, first of all, take out your wallets because you got to spend a lot of money. You got to buy hardware, racks, servers, software. Then you have to hire a battalion of techs to kind of manage this whole thing, right? Now you're paying salaries, you're paying DIS and deductions at source. It gets kind of expensive, but it's yours. And magically, voila, you have a NOC. It's that easy, right? Software, people, done. Well, not really. If anybody's ever installed an RMM tool, for instance, you know that you just don't buy the software, plug it in, and all of a sudden, you're an MSP, right? There's a lot of fine tuning. There's a lot of issues. So what are the challenges? Well, when you have your own NOC, you have to have the right resources at the right time and at the right cost, because you might find yourself losing money instead of making money. You have to have processes and SOPs clearly in place so that you know exactly what you're doing. What about motivation? Who of your employees wants to work the night shift? Or what kind of employees are you going to get that only want to work the night shift? They're probably not going to be the best technicians, right? Real estate, you got to put these people somewhere. It gets kind of costly. Automation, it's not as simple as you think. We know with RMM tools and other things, servers, to automate, you got to know scripting, you got to know VB. It gets quite complicated. Unless you have an expert in that, you're going to spend a lot of time. This is one of those places where maybe this is an eye for a company. And constraints. Prakash did the math with me, it was interesting. If you have to take care of one server or 200 servers, 24/7, 365 days a year, you're going to need 7 people on staff. About 6, but we kind of rounded it up to 7. To follow every single minute of that day, every single minute of that year, with vacations, break times, you're going to need a lot of people on staff. So imagine this scenario. One of your salespeople gets a deal. 12 servers, 300 workstations. Amazing. Sign them up. There's a little problem. 2 of those servers are Red Hat Linux, and we have 1 SQL database. And they want 24/7, 365. Is that a good deal still? Another problem. You don't have an in-house Linux expert. You don't have a DBA. So you're going to hire a DBA and a Linux guy to take care of 2 servers and 1 SQL database. How much is that going to cost you? All of a sudden, this amazing deal is no longer viable for you because it's going to cost too much to manage. Okay, I've convinced you, right? You're going to outsource to a NOC. Well, let's look at those advantages. It's scalable, so you can start small, build it up. It's not your infrastructure. You can define services. You can say, I want to do these things at this time. It's under your control. It's an on-off model. When you need it, you have it. If you only want to have 24/7, you only hire them after 5 o'clock. It's very simple. It's cost-effective, and you get to focus on your customer relationship. Sounds pretty good. What are the challenges? Well, when you have an outsourced NOC, oftentimes it's a shared service. You're sharing with a whole bunch of other people. It's cookie cutter. There's no customization. If you have a server that absolutely cannot be rebooted after an update, and that's not part of their policy, forget it. They're going to reboot it because they do not do things differently than what is in front of them. You really have no control. Other people are taking care of your things. And there's a certain amount of technology and tech expertise that has its limits. They might not know everything. And what about your technology investment? Maybe you spent $20,000 getting an RMM, and you've spent maybe even more getting a whole system of, let's say, an Autotask in your office. Everything is running smoothly, then you want to outsource to a NOC. Well, they're going to want to use their technology. So you just wasted your money. becomes a bit of a problem and a challenge. And the question we want to ask is, if you're using a shared NOC service, how do you stand out from the person next to you? How do you differentiate yourself from your competitors if you're all selling the same thing or offering the same thing? You're going to compete on price. I talked a little bit earlier how we started doing that with hardware, right? Competing on price. How did that work for us? We're not making any money on hardware anymore. So you don't want to compete on price, you want to compete on value. So can you get the best of both worlds? Have an outsourced NOC, but have control. Yes, you can. So with MSP1, it's a dedicated NOC. You have your own team. These are the people that you work with every single day. You don't get a shared resource where you never know who you're going to talk to. You have someone dedicated. It's a dedicated team. You can customize your service. You can offer specific things for specific clients because it's a dedicated team. They get to know your clients. Your clients become part of the family. You get access to a global talent pool. You need DBA experts, they got them. You need Linux experts, they have them. You don't need to do all this hiring locally anymore. And you still have that ownership feeling because it's your NOC, it's your team. They're just somewhere else. Ground control. Not only that, it's complete control because you're controlling the solution because it's your dedicated team. And you get the technology and the experience that can scale up. Some people use it for business continuity. Let's say you want to only offer services for the evenings and weekends. You can use an outsourced NOC. You can also be very flexible. Some people use it for projects. We're going to see some examples a little later on. And it projects a global MSP image. You've got people that can work from anywhere. And the best part is, with MSP1, they actually use your technology. So if you're using LabTech, you're using Kaseya, you're using Level Platforms or AVG, they're going to work with your systems, tweak your systems. They're going to use your ticketing system, create tickets in your system, so that you don't have to change everything just for them. That's a really big difference, I believe, in this industry. So there's 8 ways to use a dedicated NOC, and that's what we're going to look at right now. I want you to have some concrete ways to work with a NOC, whomever you choose. But with MSP1, it's a great way to fill in the gaps. Maybe you have a strong technical team, but you need some, more help. They may be, overworked. This is often the problem in many MSPs, right? So you can use MSP1 to kind of fill in the gaps. You can add more capacity, improve the quality of the life of your technician because they're not working like crazy people anymore, and that makes a better business for them. What about projects? Now, the thing about projects, in my experience, is that when you have a projects team, they're either working on a project, or they're configuring a project, or they're on the bench. Now, when your projects team is on the bench, that's a costly time. Normally, the people that are working on your projects are your high-level engineers, your level 2, level 3 guys and girls, and they're costly. They cost a lot of money. So if they're not working all the time, it's costing you money. So having an on-demand team to do projects, or at least to help you with projects, could really save you a lot of money. You no longer have that downtime. Third and fourth shifts, if you need people to fill in the gaps, you want to be able to support customers on the weekends. What about doing server reboots at night? Who of your technicians love to spend the whole evening doing server reboots, making sure things go? Give all that stuff, outsource it. This is all your I's and your C's, stuff that you're really good at, but you don't really need to do. The biggest thing that happens to us sometimes as a company is we have these highs and lows. We know that in our industry, we have peaks and valleys. Summer gets kind of low, and all of a sudden September comes, all of a sudden we've got all this high demand. So how do you fill in those gaps? Well, you can use an outsourced NOC. So you can have people, your own team to work with when you need the help, and you get to adjust it. Turn the volume up or down. able to get 24/7 coverage this way. That example before, you needed some DBAs and some Linux people, and you can't afford hiring them. Well, having a dedicated NOC, MSP1 solution helps you to get that whole package together. And you can go after these clients and feel confident that your team's going to take care of some of it, MSP1's going to take care of all the things that you can. Now, 24/7 is interesting. For some of us, we don't offer 24/7 because it's very costly. And again, who wants to work in the middle of the night on weekends? It's very hard to find. But when you work with a company overseas, well, our days are their nights, and their nights are our days. So they can do the server reboots in the middle of the night. It's the middle of the day for them. So you're able to get that 24/7. And what happens with 24/7 is the customers that want 24/7 are amazing customers. They're the ones that pay you a lot more because not every company can offer this. So if you can offer 24/7 consistently, not just like a pager in the middle of the night and one of your technicians has to wake up, you want to be able to offer like a full slew of services in the middle of the night. This is a way to become a purple cow in a way, differentiate yourself. In projects, all of a sudden you get all these projects, let's say a big migration of Office 365. Well, why don't you use your team to take care of the customer-facing stuff, get them on site, and then use a NOC to take care of all the back-end stuff. Get them to do the exchange to Office 365, all the back-end scripting, all that stuff, that's what they're good at. That's a really good way to use the service and to really benefit. And because of the prices you're paying, your profit goes way up. And if you need high-end technical support, tier 3 or above, I don't know what's above tier 3, but I guess tier 4, you can have access to these people who are highly trained and they're available on demand. Now all these things together show you different ways that you can work with a company like MSP1, but the biggest thing is that it's your team. It's a dedicated NOC. And I want to stress that because it's not something that you're sharing with other people. You have your own team. I can take questions, although this is not my company, but
As a big change, slide demonstrate about hardware and ship mostly to resource. I don't think it's possible to have that server performance.
yeah, the question was, because I was talking about the cost of hardware and are they going to be, is a NOC going to be running servers for you? The question is probably no. What they're there to do is to provide your service. But if you need to set up that infrastructure in your office, you're going to have to spend money on hardware, software solutions. They have it. So you're using their servers for certain things. Just give you an example. You hire a technician, you got to give them a laptop, right? Or a desktop. That's hardware costs. If you use them, they got their own. I hope that helps. Yes.
What's the difference between that solution and Ingram Micro Live Health? Okay, because Ingram Micro LDHD is fairly cheap, even for 24/7. So why would I go with this if I want to outsource something and not with something that's like
So the question is,
in the neighborhood?
the question is using Ingram Micro's help desk service, which apparently is inexpensive. Why would we use that instead of using an outsourced NOC? Well, the simple reason is that a lot of these solutions are kind of cookie cutter, so you have access to certain things. But I'll give you an example. I've worked with a company with MSP1 because we're testing them out. We really want to put them to the test full strength. And we have a pharmaceutical company that has a server that absolutely cannot be rebooted. Now, if I was working with a shared NOC service provider, chances are I'm going to have a technician rebooting that server after an update because they just don't know. But because I'm working with the same people, the same team, you get a project leader. So because you're working with that project leader, he makes sure that whoever's working on your servers or your workstations know the environment. So it becomes an extension, not so much of a business, but it becomes your own staff, your your overseas staff that you control through the project manager. So having that like one-on-one thing where you can really customize, you can say, I only want that server rebooted at between 4 and 4:15 a.m. They'll do
Those
that.
are, sorry, those are procedural, those are procedures and processes. So if I set up something in my Connect device, I say, this is the procedure that has to be followed in case that particular server has to be rebooted. I don't care if it's in your micro, they will follow the procedures. This is a matter of procedural, facts, not, you know.
Well, I invite you to come to the session tomorrow. You'll be able to ask Prakash directly. I'm just a spokesperson because I was filling in. But I definitely think that the whole business of outsourced NOC is a game changer in our industry, because we can be a small company today and all of a sudden turn the switch and take on big contracts because now we have the back end. The back? Good question. First of all, it's clear that it's kind of hard sometimes. We don't want our customers to be calling an Indian hotline and having that experience, right? We do it with Dell and some other companies, and it's kind of a bad experience for us. And as you can hear, Prakash's got great English. He's a great guy. But his team, what's nice about it is that you end up working with the same people on the team. So they get to know you, you get to know them. And in my experience, I found that when I was talking to them, it was very clear. The emails are very, very concise. They're direct to the point, and we kind of get each other. I talk tech, he talks tech. So we're able to really do a nice exchange. But I don't want customers talking to them. My team talks to them. That's the big difference. So you get them to do all the things we talked about earlier, the things that you're maybe not good at or that are kind of annoying, the things that are, that are time consuming, don't really bring you money. Outsource that stuff to them. The stuff that's in the back end, and they do it, they don't have to talk to anybody, they take care of it, and you just get a report, and everything's working. And then you can concentrate on billing your guys, doing things that, your guys and girls, doing the things that are really important, that are really making you money. For certain issues, and we can ask that to Prakash tomorrow. I'm going to email these questions to him tonight. But for instance, for French, right? We test them on a French server. So there's things that they can do, language packs, but we'll see. It's a challenge that he's going to have to deal with if he wants to get the Quebec market.
What would be your guideline if you deal with the support pieces? I mean, 50% less expensive than in North America? Because it has to be cheaper otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let him explain because I don't know his pricing. He has it all ready for us, but I'm not privy to it. But it's
What's
there.
your opinion?
You're obviously going to save on cost because you're using overseas labor. I've had that experience back when I was an MSP. I've used companies to do websites and all kinds of things through Elance, and you do pay a lot less. But there's quality control. So working with a partner that is of high respect and a good company is key. So tomorrow there's going to be a session. You can ask more questions to Prakash. But I just want to end with this. When you use a dedicated NOC service like MSP1, you get to outsource, but you're still client-facing. So you get to have the benefit of working with an overseas company, but you're in control, and you're having the conversations with the clients. You work with a dedicated project manager, so they get to know you. They become part of the family. You get to grow on demand. So as you need it, it's kind of like pay as you grow. As you need it, you get to go up and down. And you get to access specialized skills, again, on demand. And basically, you get to take on more projects because now you don't have to grow your own company internally to become bigger and to take on bigger things. But at the end, what we always want is you get to make more money. Because as we spoke, you pay a lot less when you're using overseas support, so why not benefit from that and benefit from the time difference? So because Prakash couldn't be here and he really wanted you to not only just, trust me or trust him, he wants you to experience something. So I don't call him the NOC father for nothing, because he's got an offer you can't refuse. It's a button, a knock for you can't refuse. So, to anybody in this room, if you want to test it out, this is no strings attached. Just send them your email today, and you'll get to have, there's two choices. The first offer is a migration. So you have 25 customers, you want to migrate them from Exchange to Office 365. He'll do it completely for free, the migration part. You handhold the customer, and you get to test them out. See how your team works with them. Sounds like a good deal? I mean, you can make money off this, right? You're obviously going to charge your client. You're not going to give it to your client for free. So it's a good way to test the waters, but also to make a little bit of money and see how you work. We want you to be happy, and it's the best way. The second offer is 5 hours of server tuning and audit. So he's willing to give you in the next 30 days 5 hours of his technical time to look at some servers, fine-tune them. Probably 5 hours, I'd say, 1 or 2 servers. They're going to take that server, fine-tune it, give it highest performance, which, of course, you can bill your clients. If I just take a round number, let's say we're billing $100 an hour as a round number, which is kind of low, well, you can make $500 just with this offer. And all you have to do is just sign up on the website. So I urge you to take advantage of these and try it out. You know, don't take my word for it. I started using him to test it with some of my partners that we're working with because we want to see how it works, and I'm really impressed by the communication, which is a major worry, of course. And I'm very impressed by the level of technical support and what they're doing for the customers I've been sending them. So test them out, it's free. He wants you to try before you buy. So you can benefit from these offers by going to msp1services.com/ChannelNext. msp1services.com/ChannelNext. This is only available for people that are here, and it's only available for today and tomorrow. You can also email me at info@msp1services.com, the subject NOC for. I'll have a sheet tonight during the speed exchange, so if you don't want to take a picture, I'll be able to give you that information. So I think this is a game changer. Being able to have a dedicated NOC in your back pocket is really something that you want to take advantage of, and take advantage of the NOCfers. You can't refuse, right? Thank you.